Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz, December 11, 2017, 11:48 p.m. and hours away from voting for Roy Moore for Senate in Alabama. Roy Moore had a lot of controversy to come out only after he beat Luther Strange. Nothing was said then. But when the polls came out and said he was leading handily over Doug Jones, then all these people came forward. Biden was with them, at least some of them. I mean, one of them, you look down the screen, you see his picture with her. Guys, Roy Moore went to jail while he was judge because he would not remove the Ten Commandments. And the higher court ordered him to remove them, and he wouldn't do it. While he was in jail, someone took sledgehammers and moved them. Federal DA at that time was Doug Jones. Tell you about a friend of mine, Tom Owens, started out of his pocket Alabama Youth Home. Tom Owens had American Fitness. He went on to do great things. 6 Guinness Book of World Records. Had won, 6 years old, won Mr. Senior in bodybuilding at 60. He spent out of his pocket over many, many years, $50 million, and took care of. He never turned away a child or a teen that was pregnant, that's kicked out of their home or left their home because the parents wouldn't let her come back unless she had an abortion. None of the girls that ever stayed with him or had abortions. None of the guys that ever stayed with him went back home. I mean, he not only helped them out, they went to church. All of them did. That was part of their staying there. Some of them lived there 5, 6, 7, and even 8 years. He took care of people that long. 700 of them calls him daddy or father. 5 times that many are out there. But his ex-wife came one night, wanted some money. He wouldn't give it to her. She started scratching and fighting him. He put his hands up, defensive, just sat her like this. Then she called the police. They arrested her. But then she said, I'm sorry, he never touched me. I just wanted money and he wouldn't let me have it. And so they released him. But yet the federal DA went back after him and destroyed Tom Owens. And that was Doug Jones. Took Alabama Youth Home away from him. That was Doug Jones. He says he's a Christian. Maybe he's a young Christian. But back then, he destroyed Christians. And if he doesn't come up and say he's made mistakes by hurting other Christians, then he's not very Christian. I knew the federal judge that handled that case. She said, Tom Owens, you wouldn't be here today before me if you were anybody else. But Doug Jones made an example of you. He got out with little more than a reprimand. About the same amount of reprimand that she gave the one who brought him there. I can't say any more than that. Roy Moore was locked up, put in jail, because he fought for the 10 Commandments. Donald Trump is being fought every way from Sunday because he stopped abortion, stopped funding abortion, recognized Jerusalem is a capital of Israel. We're still in a religion zone here. This is what the Almighty wants Donald Trump to do. This is what the Almighty wants Roy Moore to do is bring the Ten Commandments back in. He can be an asset to Donald Trump. Trump will bring prayer back into schools. And one day there's going to be another court hearing, Roe versus Wade, where it will be overturned finally for good. And there's a lot more that's going to come out of Donald Trump. But it's the Senate and the liberal that's fighting everything that has to do with Christianity in any value, any way, trying to destroy it. Look, there was a death sentence out for Donald Trump. And that morning, the preachers piled in there and put a protective barrier around him, and it's still around him. God's the one that got him elected, and he'll be protected. And I believe God is going to put Roy Moore in. Not saying he's perfect, but you out there who are perfect, you cast the first stone at Roy Moore. Cast the first stone at Donald Trump. Cast it at me. If you're without sin, cast it at me. I'm voting for Roy Moore. I know what his opponent's values are like, and I know what Roy Moore's values are like, and the two of them are miles apart. We want to stay free, capitalist country. The liberal left wants us into a socialist, democratic, communist country. That's their goal, and they'll not stop until it gets there. But the church will go away first. And when God speaks through Donald Trump words of wisdom, there'll be no one that'll be able to contradict anything he says. The media will go silent for a time, so dumbfounded they'll not know what hit them. That's because God spoke. That's about to happen, guys. Watch it. It's about to happen. And when it does, you'll love it. Jody Wolf Expoz. Oh, vote for Roy Moore. He needs to be in. We need the Ten Commandments. We need laws in place to stop the crap that's going on. It's on a binge. Jody Wolf Expoz.